Hey guys, it's Ron, Kurt, Jake, and Chunk. And today we're going to talk about moving to SOWEBO.
Yep, Southwest Baltimore, SOWEBO for short. Yep.
Today we're in front of Hollins Market. And I love this part of town. I was just recently at the B&O Railroad Museum with my son, and they have a we went on a train ride, and it was phenomenal. It was God, who's the guy? The Thomas the Train.
Thomas the Train. Yeah,
Thomas
they do that every year. They do it for I think for a few weekends in a row. They do a Thomas the Train thing. But
do they really?
Go there, yeah, you can go there any time of year. It's gorgeous. Yeah, the B&O is the first transcontinental railroad in the U.S. It was completed in 1828. And around that time, that's when a lot of these houses here were built. I mean, there's these historic homes.
Fascinating museum.
Incredible, yeah. And then the Mount Clare house was tied into it because the Carrolls are the ones that built B&O Railroad, and the Carrolls owned John Carroll. They owned that, and they owned.
Where is that?
That's over in Carroll Park.
Okay,
yeah, it's a nice little. It's worth stopping by. Yeah, tons of history in this area.
History alert. So right next to B&O Warehouse Museum, there's a small little Irish rail worker museum. I think it's a block off there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I forget the name of the Irish bar, but there's like a long-standing Irish bar
Patrick's
here.
Pub.
Patrick's was
we'll
long.
Talk about Patrick's Pub.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Been there what, 7,000 years?
It's been there. It was the longest running Irish pub that was owned by a single family in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still going?
It's still going under a different name now. This sold 4 years ago to some friends of mine that run it now. It's a great little bar.
Cool.
But the funny, one of my favorite parts about the history of that particular bar is that during Prohibition, it was a laundromat for the Irish railroad workers. Yeah.
That's great.
So was this like a Irish enclave back in the day? Was that?
Yeah, there were a lot of Irish around here. Yeah, a lot of Irish folks came in. They either came straight from Ireland or they moved from West Virginia to work on the railroad. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool. Very cool. And
so when you got here, yeah.
I thought I was adding history to the conversation. Wow.
So if you're from West Virginia, you half of them moved to Hamden and half moved to
Hamden,
Southwest Baltimore.
Yeah, Southwest Baltimore. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so this place is it's full of history.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then Union Square. Union Square is the old historic homes around the park there. H.L. Mencken's house is there. He was a writer, contemporary and friend of F. Scott Fitzgerald, which is really interesting. They do a cookie tour where you can all the neighbors will open up their homes. You can go through, get a cookie, check out their homes.
That's right.
A lot of them are still original. The crazy thing to think about is that those homes, as social as that area was, Mencken, I'm sure, was invited to parties. Which means that he and probably F. Scott Fitzgerald and probably Edgar Allan Poe were in those homes.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are still original, too. Original flooring, original plaster molding. It's something to think about. There's a lot of history in this area.
Those parkfront houses are spectacular. They're large. They're
Parkfront is the new waterfront.
You're right. Yeah,
it's a beautiful park. It truly is a beautiful park.
It truly is, yeah.
So you lived in SOWEBO for 12 years now, right?
Yeah, 12 years. Yeah.
So I know when you moved to Baltimore, you were looking at different areas and ended up here. Like, what brought you to SOWEBO?
So we looked at other areas, and they were nice and all, but we saw a house here. We came to check it out and didn't know anything about the city at the time. And while we were viewing the house, a neighbor came over to just say hello. Is Biff Browning. You've met Biff.
Oh yeah.
He invited us over to his house that night, and other people came by.
Wow.
Yeah,
Very
it was
cool.
I'd never felt so welcome and so much like part of a neighborhood in my life, like an actual group of friends that just were hanging out. Right. I'd never experienced that before.
Fit right into.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was very attractive. It was.
That was the closer.
That was it. That was the closer. We didn't get that particular house, but we ended up buying another one in the neighborhood. This Union Square became our target neighborhood.
Cool.
And if not Union Square, then somewhere in SOWEBO. We just love this area. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, there's a ton of history. So if you had to sum up, like, your number one reason for being here, living in this area, what would it be? Yeah, I mean, history's way up there. The history of this area is really great.
I served as the CHAP representative for a minute in Union Square.
Oh, very cool.
It's hard to beat. The amount of history that's in just this part of Baltimore is kind of mind-blowing.
So everyone knows about Hollins Market. It's fantastic. Come down here, enjoy the food and fun. Now, I have a little bit of insight into local hot spots, and I love Zella's Pizza, which is right around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
But, Jake, come on, share the scoop. What else you got?
No, you're not wrong about Zella's. It's great. Some of the best pizza in the city. Hollins Market's awesome, and then Mulberry is inside the market. It's a great bar.
Okay.
They do a lot of events and whatnot. If I had to pick like my go-to place around here, and we're hitting on.
You have a lot of go-tos.
I have a lot of go-tos. You're right. I have a lot of go-tos. we're hitting on like the second thing I like the most about this area.
Okay.
And it's the things, the weekend activities I call them. It makes this area a real destination to come over and check out. Right.
Okay.
The backyard is a very unique bar. That's the bar that was in Patrick's Pub, where Patrick's
the former
Pub
Patrick's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And the owner, one of the owners, is a wine importer. So you go there. You'd be surprised at the kinds of wine you can find there, stuff you haven't seen before, from all over the world.
Wow!
They've got great beers on tap. Their rule is they won't put a beer on tap if they can't drive to it in 2 hours. So it's got to be pretty hyper local when it comes to that.
Very cool.
And then they do a tinned fish program, very unique for the city. There's only a couple places that do it.
So sardines,
mackerel, tuna belly.
Wow.
Octopus. It's all good too. It surprised the heck out of me. I had no idea. But then an amazing thing is going on right now in Pigtown. It's becoming a hub for breweries. We've got 3 breweries right now. Pickett, Suspended, and Wacomico Brewing are all active in Pigtown. There's another. I'm not going to mention their name because I don't think it's a totally done deal yet. But there's another third pretty successful brewery that's going to move into Pigtown as well. So we'll have 4 right here in Pigtown.
Mm-hmm. First round's on you?
First round for you guys, not everyone else. But.
So obviously you got to love how close the stadiums are, or maybe not. I mean, do you love how close Orioles and Ravens Stadium is?
Nah, it's not a big deal. Of course I do. It's fantastic. I can literally hear the cheers from Ravens Stadium when we score a touchdown from my house.
Love it.
If I got up on my roof, and again I'm on Carroll Park in Pigtown, which Carroll Park's beautiful. But if I got up on my roof, I could see the fireworks from Camden Yards on Friday nights.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's fantastic to be this close. Easy walking distance. Never have to worry if I want to go to a game. Never have to worry about parking. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the outdoor activities around here. You got Top Golf that just moved in.
Yeah, Top Golf is moving in.
Killer parks.
Yeah, parks are great. I mean, you've got Union Square Park, which is an historic park. They've still got the spring house there, the original spring house where people get their water from. So the spring is still there if you were to go underneath the spring house. But it's a great spot. Actually, a lot of my friends have had weddings. They've had their weddings there in the spring house. It's a gorgeous spot.
Wow.
Franklin Square's got a nice park. There's Little Lithuania Park. Little Lithuania Park's always worth it. It's a little small park tucked away behind the biopark. It's beautiful. And then Carroll Park. Carroll Park is massive. It's huge. It's got a great running, walking track. They've got.
They got a skate park back there.
There's a skate park, yeah, over by the charter school.
Yeah,
right by the charter school, yeah. And there's also a golf course. People don't realize that there's on the other side of the Montgomery Ward building. There's a golf course over there, about an area. But the third thing is the outdoor activities, the outdoor space right here in Southwest Baltimore. It's beautiful. It really is.
Awesome.
So Jake, what's your 4th item for living here?
Supportive neighbors. I've got a lot of supportive neighbors. Like I said, the first day I was in the neighborhood when I was just thinking about buying a house here, we were invited to a house party and met a lot of great people and a diverse group of people too. And what that kind of has turned into in this area are really strong neighborhood associations. There's the hardworking people that don't just work hard at their jobs and their life, but they work hard to make this area what it is.
Very cool.
If I start naming names, I'm going to forget someone, so I don't want to do that. But there are just so many people that have just made this area what it is and made it great. And
it's impressive, the neighborhood pride.
Yeah.
That people are like, I'm from this area.
Right. Yep.
And
I mean, at one point, Union Square had one of the largest neighborhood associations in the city, and it's one of the smallest neighborhoods.
Very active. I've been to association meetings over here at Hollins Market and packed auditorium.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Really.
People are very involved. Yeah.
And it's admirable.
Yeah.
And it's these neighborhoods aren't at the top of the trendy neighborhoods list.
More authentic.
It's like being part of something with substance. Like
that's very well put, actually. Part of something with substance, yeah, for sure. So I think the 5th thing that I have on my list, like why I love this area, is it's the ease of commuting. or getting to work, right? It's an easy walk downtown. If you work downtown, work in the Inner Harbor, you work anywhere around City Hall or anything like that.
University of Maryland.
University of Maryland, I was about to mention, is right here.
Medical school, dental school,
biopark,
hospital.
It's all right around this corner right here. And then it also has, it's the easiest access to I-95 North and South, and 295.
Do you get a lot of DC commuters?
Sure do. Yeah, a lot of folks move up here from DC. They realize what this neighborhood has to offer, right, and what this area has to offer, and yeah, they pick up on it right away.
No, walkability too, like walk to the stadiums, walk to the Inner Harbor, walk.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, walk so many different places.
Yeah, and it's an easy bike ride across over to Fells Point, where our office is.
Real quick, what would you say about housing? Like, what sort of options do you think the range is? I mean, certainly affordability is mixed in there.
Yeah, there's definitely affordable housing in this area without even trying to be affordable housing. It's just, you have new renovations that sell for good price. You know, if you want an old historic house like over in Union Square, you've got those. Franklin Square hasn't even been touched, but some of those houses are historic as well. And then it's great for renters too. We like having renters in the area too. So there's a lot of that as well. Yeah, I mean the housing options are a
range. Yeah, I got a contractor friend of mine. He's like 24. He lives on Lemon Street, it's Alley Street. Very affordable house. He did the updates, and same thing. He loves the community. He loves his neighbors. He loves everybody. And you know, that's this area. You have new renovations. You have Alley Street, everything in between. Very affordable. And if you want to come down to any of these neighborhoods in Southwest Baltimore, reach out. Jake lives here. Kurt and I, work in the neighborhood as well. You know, of course, we're realtors. This series is about showing you these neighborhoods. And if you want to come check them out, get a feel for Southwest Baltimore, give us a shout. Our contact info is in the post here. And we look forward to seeing you in Southwest Baltimore.